Let me guess. You thought spiritual awakening would be all love and light, right? That one day you'd wake up and suddenly life would be perfect. No more problems, no more struggles, just pure peace, endless bliss, and maybe even some mystical superpowers. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you've been lied to. There are so many myths about spiritual awakening that set people up for disappointment. These lies don't just slow you down. They can trap you in confusion, frustration, and even make you feel like you're failing at awakening. If you've ever felt lost on this journey, like you're doing something wrong, because awakening doesn't look like what you expected, then this is for you. Today, we're exposing the 3 biggest lies about spiritual awakening, the ones that keep people stuck and disillusioned. Because if you don't see through these traps, you might spend years chasing an illusion, missing the real freedom that awakening offers. Before we get into these lies in detail, I want to first share my own personal story to show you what awakening is and isn't. I remember when I first started my spiritual journey, I had all these grand expectations about awakening. I thought that the moment I became enlightened, all my problems would disappear. I imagined a life filled with constant peace, where nothing could ever shake me again. I believed that my emotions would become perfectly balanced, my struggles would end, and I would walk through life like some enlightened master, untouched by the chaos of the world. But reality hit me hard. Instead of a blissful paradise, awakening first brought intense confusion, emotional upheaval, and the destruction of everything I once believed in. It was like the ground beneath me had been ripped away, and I was falling into an unknown abyss. The relationships I had built started to shift. Some people pulled away from me, and I pulled away from others. The things I once enjoyed no longer made sense to me. My ambitions, the dreams I had worked so hard for, suddenly felt meaningless. And at times, I wondered if I was actually awakening or just losing my mind. Then came the war with my ego. I was constantly trying to suppress it, thinking it was the enemy. I rejected my desires, judged myself for feeling anger or sadness, and forced myself to act spiritual, even when it didn't feel natural. But all this resistance only created more suffering. And then there was the biggest lie of all, the belief that I had to detach from life completely. For a while, I distanced myself from material things, thinking that money, relationships, and success were distractions from spirituality. But deep down, I still wanted these things, and denying them didn't make me more enlightened. It just made me more miserable. It took time for me to realize that awakening isn't about escaping life, but fully embracing it. It's not about avoiding pain, but seeing through its illusion. It's not about destroying the ego, but understanding that I am not bound by it. And it's not about giving up desires, but learning how to live without being attached to them. Once I saw through these lies, everything changed. I stopped chasing bliss and started accepting the present moment, whether it was joyful or painful. I stopped fighting my ego and simply watched it. I stopped rejecting life and started living it, fully, without fear. And that's when I found real freedom. Not in some faraway paradise, but right here, in the middle of everyday life. Here are the following lies. Period. Lie 1. Awakening will make you instantly happy and problem-free. One of the biggest misconceptions about awakening is that it will instantly fix everything in your life. People imagine that once they wake up, all their struggles will disappear. No more emotional pain, no more financial worries, no more relationship drama, just pure, effortless bliss. They believe awakening is like flipping a switch, turning off suffering forever. But here's the truth. Awakening doesn't remove problems. It makes you more aware of them. At first, this can even feel overwhelming. When you wake up from unconsciousness, you start seeing all the things you've ignored, all the emotional baggage you've suppressed, and all the illusions you once believed. It's like being in a dark, messy room for years. If someone suddenly turns on the light, the mess doesn't disappear. Instead, you finally see it for what it is. Many people mistake this for something going wrong. They think, if I were really awakening, I wouldn't feel this pain. But the pain isn't new. It was always there. Awakening simply reveals what was hidden. This is why so many spiritual teachers talk about the dark night of the soul, a period where everything seems to fall apart because the old illusions can no longer survive in the light of awareness. Eckhart Tolle once said, "Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. How do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you are having at this moment." This was one of the hardest truths for me to accept, that awakening doesn't mean life stops challenging you. Even after deep spiritual realization, life still happens. Difficult situations still arise, people still misunderstand you, and emotions still come and go. Awakening doesn't turn life into a perfect paradise. It simply changes how you experience it. Tolle also reminds us that life is not here to make you happy. It is here to make you conscious. This means that suffering isn't some cruel punishment or mistake. It's part of the design. The struggles we face, whether in relationships, finances, or health, are not obstacles to awakening, but the very thing that awakens us. I used to believe that if I just meditated enough, if I just detached enough, I would reach a point where nothing could touch me. But even Tolle, after his profound awakening, didn't escape life's challenges. He simply stopped resisting them. And that's the key. When you realize that life is not here to serve your ego's happiness, but to wake you up, suffering loses its grip. You stop fighting reality and start flowing with it, no longer seeing hardship as a problem, but as a doorway to deeper awareness. So if you're going through this, don't assume you're failing. True peace isn't about avoiding problems. It's about no longer being consumed by them. Awakening doesn't give you an escape from life. It gives you the clarity to see through its illusions. The key is to stop chasing bliss and start embracing presence. When you stop resisting reality, even suffering loses its grip on you. Lie to? You must completely destroy your ego. Another common myth is that the ego is the enemy of awakening. Many people believe that to be truly enlightened, they must completely destroy their ego, as if it were some kind of spiritual villain that needs to be eliminated. This idea leads to a war within, people trying to suppress their identity, reject their personal desires, and even deny their own emotions in the name of ego death. But here's the truth. You need an ego to function in this world. The ego isn't the problem. It's your identification with it that causes suffering. Imagine your ego as a car. You need a car to get around in life, to interact with the world, to express yourself. But if you think you are the car, you're trapped. Awakening isn't about destroying the car. It's about realizing you're the driver, not the vehicle. Many spiritual seekers end up caught in this paradox. They try so hard to destroy their ego that they develop a spiritual ego, a new identity that believes it's superior for being egoless. This is why you sometimes meet spiritual people who are judgmental, condescending, or disconnected from reality. They think they've transcended the ego, but in reality, they've just built a new one that looks down on others who are still trapped in illusion. The real goal isn't to destroy the ego, but to see through it. When you stop taking it so seriously, it naturally softens. You can use it when needed, but it no longer controls you. Instead of fighting the ego, observe it. When it gets triggered, don't suppress it, just notice. The more you do this, the more freedom you'll have from its grip. Lie 3. Awakening means you have to give up all desires and live like a monk. This one is a classic. Many people believe that to be truly spiritual, they must renounce everything: money, relationships, enjoyment. They think that enlightenment means sitting on a mountain, meditating all day, detached from the world. This belief is what makes some people reject awakening entirely because they don't want to give up their dreams or pleasures. But here's the truth. Awakening isn't about rejecting life. It's about not being enslaved by it. Detachment doesn't mean you stop experiencing joy, ambition, or love. It means you're no longer controlled by them. You can enjoy everything fully, without clinging, without fear, without needing them to define you. Think of life like a movie. Awakening doesn't mean you stop watching. It just means you know it's a movie. You can enjoy the highs and lows, cry at the sad parts, laugh at the funny parts, but deep down, you know it's all part of the play. That's real detachment. Not avoiding life, but engaging with it fully while knowing it doesn't define who you are. If you feel called to live a simple life in solitude, that's fine. But you don't have to give up relationships, money, or success to be awakened. True spirituality isn't about what you do. It's about how you do it. You can live in a big city, have a career, enjoy good food, and still be fully awakened, because awakening happens inside you, not outside. These 3 lies keep so many people trapped. They chase bliss, fight their ego, and reject life, only to end up more lost than before. But now, you see the truth. Awakening isn't about escaping life. It's about being fully present in it. It's not about destroying the ego. It's about not being controlled by it. And it's not about giving up desires. It's about enjoying them without attachment. So if you take away one thing from this, let it be this. Spiritual awakening isn't about changing what you experience. It's about changing how you experience it. And that, my friend, is real freedom. Now go live it. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to explore these deeper truths about spiritual awakening. If this video helped you see through some of the illusions that keep people stuck, make sure to like, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. And if you want more content like this, breaking down spirituality in a real practical way, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Remember, awakening isn't about escaping life. It's about fully embracing it. See you in the next one.